welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sade Orje for y'all who do not know me. And actually, if you don't know, I'll be giving you guys 3 tips on what helps me learn a new language. And this is very personal to my experience because if you don't know me, or if you didn't know this about me, I'm a multilingual speaker. I grew up learning English and I speak Yoruba because my parents are Nigerian and I'm a Nigerian American, and I just grew up learning English and Yoruba at the same time. In high school, I studied Spanish, and then I continued my studies of Spanish in college. So that's like over 8 years of Spanish. And then the 4th language, I know it on an elementary level, which is Danish, and I learned it when I lived in Denmark and when I studied abroad. So I'm not the best at that yet. Like I said, I'm in the elementary level, and I haven't been using it as often. So just pointer, any language that you don't use as often, you're gonna start forgetting it. So make sure you surround yourself around people who speak it, or you just continue to practice. But yeah, so I speak multiple languages. I also learned other languages for fun, and I have found that these 3 tips are consistent in the process. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first tip is repetition, which is probably the most important thing. So a great way to incorporate this is by taking a phrase and meditating on it day and night. For example, when I was learning Spanish, you know, the first thing that you want to learn, or the first thing that you really tear apart, is the greetings. So when I was learning Spanish, of course, I wanted to learn how to introduce myself. So I would say, hi, my name is Sade, which is hola, me llamo Sade. And side note, whatever accent you want to mimic or make it part of how you speak, just continue to listen to people from that region or that area. Every time I would see my Honduran friends, I'll be like, hola, me llamo Sade, y soy de Tegucigalpa in Honduras. See? So it's like, once you continue to repeat something, it becomes second nature to you, and all of a sudden you wouldn't even have to visualize what you want to see. It will just come out naturally. Kind of like if you're introducing yourself in your native language, you'll be like, hi, my name is Sade. You don't have to look at it in your mind and be like, oh, H-I, hi, S-A-D-E, Sade, you know? So repetition is very important. Another way that repetition can help is by listening to music. So for me, I like to take 1 to 3 songs and really break it down and just continue to repeat it. And for me, what really helps is worship music, because there is a lot of worship music that has the English version that I know. For example, What a Beautiful Name It Is. And then there's the Spanish version. So in my mind, I know exactly what the English version says. So whenever I speak it and sing it in Spanish, it's like, oh, okay, what a beautiful name it is. I personally like to listen to a lot of music. So having music in Spanish be on replay just really drowned it in my mind, like, oh, okay, that's what that means, that's what that means. And for me, I also broke up the lyrics to really see what they were talking about, and it just helps me more in my vocabulary. Lastly, when I was in school, flashcards help a lot. And if you want to learn a new language, I'm gonna just tell you right now, it's nothing that you can do in with minimal effort, right? Like, you'll have to put a lot of effort into it. So it's doable. It takes work, but you have to be passionate about wanting to learn the language that you're learning. Okay, so the second tip is immersion. Immersion was very vital for me, and in the sense of me being around it, my brain had no other choice but to learn the language or to pick up. So for Spanish, I went to a predominantly Hispanic school, so I was always around a lot of Spanish. And then for Danish, I lived in Denmark, where my host family spoke Danish around the house. Whenever I go out, everything would be in Danish. It was just I was forced to actually tool with the language. And then for Yoruba, when you're around Yoruba people, your brain automatically picks it up, you know? So that was very important. But if you don't have like the liberty to just go and travel and like immerse yourself in a different culture, I would say find a virtual community or find a community where you're from. And if that doesn't work out, neither find a buddy. We have all these resources. Look on Google. I'm sure there's programs where you can pair up with somebody to practice the language that you're wanting to, or via Instagram. You'll find people all over the world who are just so cool and who are willing to like learn about your culture and vice versa. So take that step and really take advantage of it, because I feel like if you're very passionate about what you want to do, you're gonna find a way to do it. So it's possible to immerse yourself. At times, I would find a buddy to just text every morning or every day, and my challenge was to speak in that language solely. And of course, my grammar was not great all the time, because when you're learning a new language, I feel like the most important thing is to communicate what you're trying to get across. And as you do that, grammar comes. But for me, I think one problem that I had a lot was trying to have everything down pat and have my grammar. And it's just like, Sade, you're stopping yourself. That didn't work for me. So yeah. Okay, so 3, change everything in the language that you are learning. So another thing that really helped me was I changed my whole phone settings to the language that I was learning. So whenever I was learning Spanish, everything was in Spanish. Whenever I was learning Danish, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't put everything in Danish because I feel like Danish was too difficult for, well, I did, and then I realized that it was too hard for me, and that it was an overkill. So do it to your discretion, and depending on how comfortable you are, that's another way to challenge yourself. But if I wanted to work on my listening portion, I would change the audio to the language and then have the subtitles in English. But if I wanted to work on my reading, I would change the subtitles to the language and then have the audio in English. And then sometimes I would do both, have the audio and the subtitles in the language. And at the end of the day, your mind will have to pick up, because you obviously understand the universal language of body. And if you're kind of familiar with the language already, you'll just start to pick up on things. So that helps a lot. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Go ahead and comment down below what other content or topics you'll want me to talk about, what other experiences that you want me to share. And y'all stay tuned for the 3rd video that's coming out on 3 tips or 3 mistakes that I made when learning a new language. And if you haven't already, go ahead and watch how I learned Danish in 3 months. Well, not how I learned Danish in 3 months, but more of my progress videos of me learning Danish while I was living in Denmark. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and stay tuned. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.